in that space, we need to have, I think, because the schools, the lending companies, and service providers, education service providers also. We also need to have, I think, market regulators like assessment companies or rating companies, which will probably discipline the sector over a period of time. Once you have discipline in terms of educational standards being attained and financial discipline being maintained, the sector as a whole starts giving out information to the various stakeholders, the students, the parents, and maybe the lenders who need this information. And as our research revealed, more than 65 to 70% of the parents, and even the poorest of the poor, are preferring to send their children to the private schools. So the private sector then is playing a very important role, and I think that's how it is complementing the efforts of the public sector. So it cannot be ignored. We have to take note of the fact that they're playing a very important role, and we have to make sure that they're playing the right role, providing the right quality. And that's what CFPT did. After concluding the research that was funded by CFPT and conducted by Professor James Tooley, we started working with the private schools. And we designed a whole school improvement program in response to the findings of the research study to address the issues of capacity building for the school leaders, the teachers, and orientations for the parents and the students, to bring them onto a common platform to understand the problems that all of them face, and to ultimately address the needs of the child. And they could do that only by coming together. And what it required is an integrated approach to school development, of all of them working together, and that's what we designed. And the finance element comes in terms of the infrastructure issues, where we found that there was a gap that we on our own could not address. And that's when we conducted another independent study funded by the IFC, where we studied the capital structuring of educational institutions. And we went back to IFC with a very strong recommendation that the school sector, the private school sector, should have access to regular banking channels to promote investment in the sector as well as to provide quality education. We provided the technical assistance for school improvement, and HSBC came up with a loan facility being provided to schools. This was a pilot which we started in 2004. I think this has attracted the attention of many players in the market. I think it has been implemented more successfully in other countries where there are no constraints or restrictions on banks lending to schools. For example, in Ghana and Kenya. We are now coming to, I think, to the final phases where some of the schools who borrowed late are paying up their final installments. But we do want to roll out this to a larger number of schools, because we find the schools that received a combination of technical assistance and financial assistance did much better than only those who received the technical assistance or the financial assistance. Evolution of a completely independent sector doing a very good job of providing education at an affordable price to poor parents and their children. I'm happy that a lot of other people are thinking about it. I'm happy that a lot of other things are happening in other countries where there are no constraints, and I'm happy that a lot of other people are thinking about it. I'm happy that a lot of other things are happening in other countries where there are no constraints on the operations of either the education institutions or the lending agencies.